All right, hi guys, welcome back. My name is Lena. I'm a nutritionist and health coach. Welcome back to my series, How to Build Healthy Habits 101. If you have not yet watched my other videos, go back and watch the beginning of the series. That's vital to all of this, okay? Little disclaimer, my videos are minimally edited and I do all the editing and everything. So whatever likes, whatever imperfections you see and all that crazy stuff, bear with it, take the value, leave the rest, okay? All right, so we've talked about, how to get your mind right. We've talked about how to drink more water and make it easy. We've talked about how to fluff with veggies. And today we are talking about how to balance your meals. A huge reason people find weight loss to be so difficult or eating healthier to be so difficult is because they eat veggies by themselves. They don't feel that satisfaction and that fullness. They don't enjoy flavor. It's not sustainable. They give up. They go back to the hyper palatable foods and go back to the flavor, go back to the junk food, go back to the restaurants and all that stuff. They give up because the method they were using was so unsustainable, but it feels more like failure. So a huge takeaway from that is if the reason you're giving up is because your food is unenjoyable or unsatisfying, right? Not really filling, leaving you feeling hungry. What can we do to change that? We can add more flavor, we can add more fullness. So the formula behind this is called a balance plate. A lot of people use this. I did not discover it myself. It's not something new, right? But it's something a traditional diet won't put focus on. You can balance any meal. It is possible with any meal. And really, at the end of the day, it's a glamorous way of saying portion control, but it's not portion control because we're increasing the volume in so many other areas. So when you say portion control, you think small amounts, but when we say volumizing, increasing the volume, balancing a plate, then we can think more, right? More is more instead of less is more. Okay, so we're gonna just tackle this. We got breakfast, lunch, dinner. Okay, when you balance a plate, you want to make sure that you have about half a plate of veggies. You want to have a quarter portion of protein. This can be increased or decreased depending on you and your goals. I like to go a little bit over a quarter portion of protein, and a lot of people need more specific guidelines on that. That's about 20 to 30 grams of protein there for most people. I like the 30-gram area. It makes me feel full, satisfied, and ready to move on. So 20 to 30 grams of protein per plate, and then about a quarter of that plate is carbs, high fiber carb ideally. That's your starchy carbs, your potatoes, your chickpeas, your beans, your rice, your dessert. If you want dessert that day, that's what those things are, okay? So half a plate of veggies, quarter portion of protein, about 20 to 30 grams of protein, and then a quarter portion of high fiber carbs, a quarter to half a cup. Again, it's dependent on your goals. So the starchy carb is a trial and error kind of thing. You need to see what works for you. If you're not losing weight with that half a cup of carbs, go ahead and decrease it to a quarter, okay? Think of it more as like a sprinkle. But trial and error, I'll say over and over again because it is trial and error. Let's start with our oatmeal and see how to balance oatmeal. A lot of people think, oh, I'm eating oatmeal in the morning. Why am I not healthy, right? Why am I not losing weight? Because they make their oatmeal with oats, maple syrup, sugar, and maple syrup and sugar, and a banana. And that's the opposite of a balanced bowl. That's increasing our insulin levels and having us have a hard drop there too. Okay, so we don't want to do that. We don't need an overabundance of quick sources of energy. What we need is we need to balance that out with other things. So I'm a huge fan of protein powder in my oatmeal. I do prefer a bone broth protein for me personally because it has less of a proteiny feel. Whereas like a vegan protein feels more like protein powder. I don't like that, but whey mixes nicely into oatmeal, and I think bone broth mixes nice into oatmeal. It is flavored, so this is a salted caramel one, so it doesn't taste like salty bone broth. It tastes more sweet and things like that, so I like that. Another source of protein would just be Greek yogurt. And then another source of protein that you could do in this is egg whites, and I have an egg white oats recipe on my website and on Instagram that I'll link in the description box below. So this is the zucchini oatmeal that we made from the video before. We fluffed already with veggies. We already have a 1/3 cup of oatmeal per serving here versus a traditional half cup to full cup. that you'll see in other oatmeal recipes. So we've already decreased our carb size and increased our veggie size, okay? So that's step one. Step two, we want to add in that protein. This is about 3 scoops because again, this is 3 servings of oatmeal here in this bowl. So I'm going to add that in. And the only other thing that I didn't mention was healthy fats. Healthy fats are really, really important to not just being healthy, but having healthy weight loss as well. They really aid in, again, increasing that fullness, that satiety factor, and they are great for hormonal balances and things like that. So it's really important. In this bowl, we don't have any just yet. I love topping with like an almond butter or peanut butter or something like that. You could always mix in a chia or a flaxseed into this. So I'm gonna grab a spoon, mix that up. That's essentially how you would balance a bowl of oatmeal. We would also top this with, blueberries for a little bit of micronutrient. I would look more for a berry versus a banana because we already have plenty of carbs from the oatmeal that we're using. Again, veggies are a source of carbs too, so you're always putting veggies in this, so you get a lot of fiber. So don't ever feel like you're on like a low carb diet. Like that's not, you're on a moderate carb. You eat moderately with, moderate portions of these things, but you're not on like this strict low carb diet because again, there are carbs in literally all of this stuff. Veggies are carbs. And again, it's not a bad thing, but it's just something to be aware of. And we're always balancing in those high fiber carbs, so you have just enough for your body. And again, if you feel like you need just a little bit more, go for it. But, ask yourself other sources of energy that you might need to. Okay, so protein is just so big on really increasing that satiety factor. Healthy fat's huge on increasing that satiety factor, helping your fat hormones kick into full gear, making sure that that's all working. Sorry, I don't like leaving one trace of food behind. So anyways, that's how you would balance your oatmeal. Again, we would want to add a healthy fat to this. I'm not going to finish this bowl, but hear me when I say I would add almond butter or chia seeds or something like that to this. And again, per bowl, that looks like 1 tablespoon of almond butter. Per bowl, that looks like 1 to 2 tablespoons of chia seed or flaxseed. So be mindful of that too, right? Just because the serving size of almond butter is 2 tablespoons doesn't mean you need a full 2 tablespoons. Know to some extent, your calorie awareness, right, needs to kind of be there. So just checking in, seeing, do I need a full 2? Is 1 good enough? And does that make me full on its own? And if it does, great. So this with, again, a tablespoon of a healthy fat or something like that should keep you full until lunch. Okay, again, go ahead and top that with berries so that you really feel that satisfaction. You get more fiber and you get more fullness. All right, now we're looking at something like our egg bites, sorry. So we're getting healthy fat from the cheese that we put into this and from the egg yolks that we put into this. We're getting half a portion of veggies because we have fluffed these extremely with veggies already from that previous video. We get protein from the eggs. Now, you're gonna wanna eat 1 to 2 to 3, not 1, maybe 2 to 3 of these to really feel that fullness, or pair it with a high fiber carbs. So you could do 2 and then maybe do a piece of toast with additional healthy fat. So you could do 2 and then maybe a quarter of an avocado mashed on a piece of toast, avocado toast, 2 eggs. Or you could even do 3 with a quarter of an avocado, or you could do 2 with a dollop of Greek yogurt on top to increase that protein a little bit if you need more. And then again, like maybe half a bagel or something like that would be a good idea there. So you're getting the carbs, you're getting the protein, you're getting even more protein to really up it to that 20 to 30 grams. You're getting lots of veggies already cooked in, so you don't need to worry about that further. Okay? Breakfast is always the hardest place to get in veggies for people. This makes it easy. All right, now we're looking at lunch. So to balance a lunch plate, now we've already fluffed our salad. I think salads are the easiest way to go when it comes to lunch. If you have something else meal prepped, go for it. If you have chili, go for it. That's fine. That's a really easy thing. Soup, whatever, I don't care. Like, you can even do pasta for lunch. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you eat eggs for lunch, pasta for lunch, salad for lunch, but salad's easy, and that's why I like it. Also, it's the time that I least need a comforting meal because I'm doing other things. I'm busy, I need to get back to work, so salad's not the most quote unquote comforting meal, so it's a good time for me to really get in lots of veg at one time. So I'm gonna do over half a plate of veggies when it comes to salads. Obviously that's the base of my meal. I need a lot of fiber to get full off that. And then my healthy fat is typically gonna come from my dressing. And because the dressing that we used in video 1 was a mixture of Italian dressing, Greek yogurt, and a dash of almond milk and a dash of soy sauce to add a little bit more flavor. We increased the volume, so it wasn't very high in healthy fat, so you could go ahead and add an additional fat to this, but I'm gonna show you why we're not gonna do that today. You have to add 20 to 30 grams of protein, all right? So that's coming from chicken. This was already pre-baked, batch baked. I cooked it yesterday and I made like a lot of chicken breasts, enough to have for a week, right? Super easy, just salt, pepper, olive oil, bake it, done. Cajun spices, actually, I put on this. Makes it really good. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to worry about it. You can easily prep, plan, go from there. And then we want that high fiber carb. I have chickpeas right here that are already cooked as well. This is why I'm not adding an additional healthy fat to this. I could easily add a quarter of an avocado to half an avocado, but because I have chickpeas that are rich in healthy fats and cooked in olive oil, I really don't need an additional healthy fat, but I am gonna sprinkle some chickpeas on that. That wasn't that pretty, but that's how I balance that. I have my high fiber carbs from my chickpeas, healthy fats from the oils that my chickpeas are cooked in, from the oils of the dressing, from the oils of the chicken. I have a lot of protein from my chicken, and then I have a lot of veg. My mushrooms were also cooked in just a little bit of barbecue sauce because I like flavor, and you can use those things. So that is something that I want you to note too. Use the sauces, the dressings, or whatever that you enjoy and don't want to give up. Okay, moving that over. Now we have our pasta. So this is already fluffed with veggies. Now I need to figure out how to further balance this. I did use chickpea pasta, which is a higher protein count. So we already know that there's some protein in here. We know that we already have plenty of vegetables in here. Now we can start to think about our healthy fat. That's typically gonna come from your dressing. So I have a store-bought Alfredo sauce because I am lazy, because I'm making 1,000 other things and I really don't want to further focus on something else. So this is not quote unquote a healthy fat. It's processed, it's store-bought, it's whatever, but I'm going with it, right? It's not, it's easy for me. It's tasty for me. It's gonna make me feel like I'm not restricting anything. And it's gonna make this easy for me, right? And I'm gonna use about just over half the jar on the whole box of pasta and all that veg. So it's not that bad. Not bad at all, actually. And put that on top. Now you could make your own. I have some recipes of healthier Alfredo sauces on my website and on my Instagram that I will go ahead and link below for you, but this makes my life easy. And it really just depends on the day. On a day like today when I'm recording 1,000 other recipes, I really don't need to sit there making a homemade Alfredo sauce. This is more realistic for me today, and that's something that you need to take note of. Be mindful on your serving, on your amount, on your goals, right? But if we're in maintenance mode, which I am right now, I'm not gonna be too stingy on my sauce. But if I'm in loss mode, I might use a little bit less or go ahead and use my homemade version or just add more veggies, right? So you have a couple different options here. You could eat this as is because we have some protein, but for a lot of my clients and for myself, we are volume eaters and we need a lot to get full. So because we added veggies, we're already kind of on the right track, but I'm gonna go ahead and say, I'm gonna add an additional protein. So yes, there's protein in this, but it might take me a lot, like I might have to eat a lot of this in order to feel that satisfaction from the protein. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this over, add an additional protein source, right? I might even add an additional veggie source to the side just because I can and because it wouldn't take away from my meal. So as long as it's not taking away from my meal, I still think I'm gonna enjoy it fully, get that satisfaction, then I'm not too worried at all, okay? So I might go ahead and add an additional veggie. Let me go look. I have some grape tomatoes here, but imagine I had like sauteed spinach or salad or something. I could go ahead and pop that on the side, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, like I could pop any of that on the side. So that's what that looks like, okay? All right, that's a balanced breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I think we're good there. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below if there's anything that you want me to cover, if you have any questions about this stuff. And then share it with your family and friends. You know, the bulk of my work is done with one-on-one clients. That's when we can dive into your cuisine, to your taste, to your lifestyle, to what's easy for you. My link for booking a one-on-one consultation with me will always be in my description box below. So if that's ever something you're interested in, don't forget that that is an option. And then we're gonna go ahead and do one last video, and we're gonna touch on snacking for the day. So it'll be the last video in this outfit, but not the last video in the series. And that'll be on snacking, so stay tuned for that.